Where do we even start this issue from? I think first it's very important to express our sincerest condolences to those who have lost their lives. I don't think there's any reason under the sun that anybody should lose their lives, especially over something this flimsy. But when there's a loss of life, especially to this degree, it's very important that we are very honest and responsible and try to identify the root cause and the immediate causes of these issues. I actually took some time to look at the very gruesome images that have been making rounds on social media. And the only part of your submission I would not agree with is that I don't believe they were kneeling down. They were kneeling.
Okay.
See, when you look at some of the injuries that they suffered, most of them were even injuries to the legs. If you look, I saw about 3 of them who had died, who had been shot in the leg. It will be very difficult to get that shot from a standing shooting at somebody that's kneeling down. And then to me again, I refuse to believe that we live in a country where the military will shoot people that are kneeling down. That for me is very difficult for me to believe. I can't believe it. And so far the videos and pictures I've seen do not seem to support that story. It's just, I mean, as you said, everybody knows what took them there. And so maybe we should, but I think it's very important that we talk, because there are lots of people that I feel like are very culpable in this issue. There are people in the media that were inciting these people to do that. See, if you want something done, you want to take over AGA, there's always a legitimate way of doing it. There's a way of doing it without putting your life needlessly in harm's way. That's all we are trying to prevent. I don't see why anybody should lose their lives because they wanted to make an attempt at going to find gold. There's no surety that you're even going to get anything. But I mean, we've just gotten out of an election cycle. A lot happened during the campaign, and so I feel like there's still a lot of spillover with that. I've also come across very disturbing videos that of people telling these people, and the funny thing is I saw one of the gentlemen who went to the place. I don't think he suffered any injuries, granting an interview. Then I see a video of the NDC women's organizer for Boase talking to a group of people there, discussing how basically I don't know if I can crave your indulgence.
That's a video.
Not this one.
Aftermath?
No, before, during the campaign.
Before the
yes, I'll send it to you. I don't know if it's something that's not this one. This one, she identifies herself as the women's organizer in the video, and she's talking about how now the NDC has won. Their father, President Mahama, is in office and whatnot. So the youth should be assured that they will be given access to the AGA concession. I feel like a lot of these statements coming from high political actors is very irresponsible. You know the place is guarded by the military. So why are you inciting them? What I find the most, even embarrassing to Ghanaian journalism in total is the video I saw of a journalist who I will not name drop here, from a station who I will not name drop here, inciting the people that Omoye Mema, Omuntinsi. What do you expect to get of this? We are not blaming anybody, but the people that incited these people to go and lose their lives should not be left out of this conversation.
There were media houses that
yes,
were doing that.
I'll send you the video. It's something that I don't think should be shared. The video of the women's organizer I'll send to you. If that we can play it, will be perfect. But the video of the journalist, I'll send it to you privately and you can look at it. That same person has also been on record saying that the Ghanaian military people are not strong and they'll be beaten by Mali. See, you are saying these things innocently, innocuously, hoping that it's just going into the airways. But they are young people who listen to you religiously and actually take, I don't know, attach a lot of importance to the things you say. So I think the little thing that we can learn on the back of this is to be all responsible, whether as politicians, whether as journalists, let's draw a line to what we can do politics with and what we cannot. It looked like the NDC government, the NDC party in opposition at that time, told everybody, every different group of Ghanaian, whatever they wanted to hear, to be able to win that election. And sadly, these are some of the spillovers that are happening. We all heard the issues that happened in Ada with the taking over of the source thing. So if you look at this incident, it looks like it's part of a chain of incidences that have been occurring since the election, where NDC supporters try to take over a state institution or try to take over, at this point, a private organization by force. When does it stop? Obviously, nobody is going to whitewash this or to to side with the military in this issue. Obviously, they are supposed to be more trained in this. They are supposed to have handled their situation better. And obviously, I think at the end of the investigation, everything will become clear, because as Dr. Bona said, a lot of these things, the body is going to tell you. If the hospital is any sort of hospital at all, they will not mess with the bodies, and the pathologists will do very well at it. The coroners in Ashanti region are excellent. They will be able to tell us exactly what happened. And so we are all eager to wait to get the results of the investigation that ensues. But
I mean, we're saying something supposed to be off air, but it went on air. People heard, agitations and all. But my question is, are military expected to shoot to safeguard
themselves? I think they have the right to defend themselves.
They
I'm not sure.
have been trained to shoot to kill.
Yes.
That is all the military, what we know about the military, unless you tell me something else.
Yes,
that's what they're trained for.
You see, you don't deploy military and give them blunt bullets, like rubber bullets.
Yes,
they don't do
You
that.
don't deploy them and give them
tear
handcuffs.
gas.
You don't give them tear gas. You don't even deploy military with our guns. There's a reason why I still wonder why we have military officers who pull chairs for EC chair, because a military officer who is deployed must have his gun. But you see, for our military, is the reason why, I have been talking about this, that let's get them out of civilian populated areas. Because the longer we keep them in civilian populated areas, you could have these things happening. And so as far as I'm concerned, but that notwithstanding, they are supposed to know better. Let me, so that she can continue.
Well, I'm hoping so, though.
Yes.
I'm sure they're supposed to know better, but I still stand by my point. The military is trained to shoot and kill.
Yeah, so maybe they shouldn't have been in the position to be defending those mines. But I think this is not something that is absolutely new. These clashes with the illegal miners in the area and AGA seem to have been ongoing for a while. I don't know if escalations and that is what warranted the introduction of the military, but we've had this discussion before, which, happened off air, on air.
Off and on.
Off and on air.
What I don't know.
It was off and at the same time on.
Yeah,
I
because
don't know
it's been a while
how
since the
we
military
are
has
so
been
comfortable
guarding.
deploying the military first before even the police.
No,
I'm thinking of Idra, and Idra was I think it stemmed from the Kaka situation. I'm thinking of Dencho Boise. It was also a military man, supposedly, allegedly supposed to be guarding or guiding a mining site to prevent illegal miners. But our inside information also tells us that he was there for something
else.
else.
Obviously, when they are deployed,
we are so comfortable using the military everywhere and anywhere, and day in, day out, we see very bad results of the military clashing
with civilians. Yeah,
and we're still doing it.
It's a sad thing that we are hoping to. But again, we have to be a little. The circumstances on the ground there, and that's what I'm saying, this is not something that just started. It's been going on since about 2012, 2013, where MOUs were signed for the military to protect some of these mining concessions. So a wider discussion needs to be had. And why is the situation in these mining communities so volatile? Number two, why did we allow this issue to be used so much during the campaign, propaganda and whatnot? I thought at a point in time we were made to believe that all the illegal mining that was going on in this country was because of Chairman Wintebe. But now we are seeing a whole group that are supposed or suggested to be NDC legal miners who are doing this. So obviously the situation is deeper and bigger than that. And now that the election is over, I'm hoping we can start having honest conversations about how to move forward from this situation. Or it's going to keep happening. These people feel like they've been let down, they've been let out, they don't feel like they're enjoying the spoils of the mine. And not to forget, the mine was closed for some time, I think between 2013, 2014, the mine was closed. There were huge complaints. Even the Otumfo Asantehene came out to make some complaints because Obuasi was beginning to look like a ghost town. Yeah. Then efforts are put into place to try and revive this mine, and issues like this come up. So first, I think politicians need to take responsibility and accountability that some of these things could have been avoided and shouldn't be allowed to go on. Why should you allow your supporters, out of joy and excitement of winning an election, to go on a rampage and to be taking over state institutions. I mean, you've won a democratically elected election. A lot of these institutions are going to be ceded to you anyway. When they went to TOR, Ghana Gas, all of that, these institutions are going to be ceded to you anyway. So what is that show of force for? It leads to some of these things that could have easily been avoided. And the media, as I've already said, that issue, I mean, I hope that there are serious consequences for that for the gentleman who said that, because this is like a direct, and it's not so far away. It looks like a direct response to what you've said. So you've incited violence. You've incited about 8 to 15. We can't even be sure of how many people. Even the bodies I saw in the videos, I'm sure those injured are past the number of 8.
Those injured, as for us last night, were about 15.
Yeah, definitely.
Serious injuries.
Yeah, because even there was a video where they were piling, excuse my language, piling the bodies into a truck. Even there were about 5 or 6 bodies dumped there on that occasion, and then there was one that looked like an emergency room in a hospital with about 5 bodies. Obviously, the dead bodies would not be in the emergency room, so that's another. There was one where I think a nurse or an emergency physician is trying to do CPR, and you can tell that I mean the cause is already lost. Yes, it's already gone. So I think he was just trying to put in his best effort, but it was quite obvious that the guy had stopped.
Is our way of also handling the injured sometimes, and
well, yeah,
it can even kill you faster.